Maruti Suzuki Invicto. Now this car right here is the most expensive car that you can buy with this badge in the Indian market. Now is it really worth the price tag? That's what we are going to find out in this video. Maruti Suzuki Invicto is essentially a Toyota Innova Hycross under the Maruti Suzuki badge. However, it is packaged very differently and also gets a very affordable price tag. So is it a better deal then? We will answer all your questions. Just make sure that you watch this video till the end. The Maruti Suzuki Invicto, it is designed to be an unmistakably Nexa product. At the front you can see this large grille which gets dissected by these two chrome bars, which becomes the massive headlamp. Now this part, it is signature Nexa product. You get 3 elements of LEDs right here, which are similar to the many other Nexa products that we get to see in the Indian market. Now there are a few tweaks here and there which makes it look very different from the Toyota counterpart. Now coming quickly to the side, again the alloy wheels, it is designed to look like an unmistakably Nexa product. The design of this is definitely grab a lot of attention as well. These wheels are of 17 inches, and apart from that, everything on the side of the car, it remains exactly same to the Toyota product, which means it gets the same dimension, it gets the same size, and it gets the same massiveness of it. In fact, I think this is the biggest Maruti Suzuki product that you will get to see on the Indian roads, and it does look massive on the roads, trust me guys. Now coming to the rear, there are not as many changes. The first thing that you notice is again the same Nexa signature tail lamps. These again gets the 3 LED elements in the tail lamps. Apart from that, there are a few chrome elements here and there. Everything else remains the same. Now coming to the end, I must say that Maruti Suzuki has designed the Invicto to make it an unmistakably Nexa product, as I told you before, and that's what gives it a unique identity. You won't look at this car and say Toyota at all. Now before we jump inside the car, let's find out what is the boot space of this vehicle. To open the boot lid, you just have to press the button right here. It is electronically controlled. You can close it just by pressing a button as well. But before we do that, let's check out the boot space. With all the 3 rows upright, even with the last row upright, you will get around 290 liters of boot space. What that can hold? Well, it will hold an overnight bag plus a small suitcase. However, if you are traveling for a longer distance and you are only 4 passengers traveling in this car, what you can do is you can fold the last row seats so that you can get about 690 liters of boot space, which is quite massive. How massive it is? Well, you can see it right here. Now to get to the 3rd row of the Maruti Suzuki Invicto, you get a lever on the 2nd row seat. It doesn't tumble down. However, you can just use your one hand to pull this lever and push the seat ahead, which opens up a lot of space to reach the 3rd row seat. Now for a person of my height, I am 5'10". You can see that there is ample space here. There is the quarter glasses are quite big enough, so you don't feel claustrophobic in the 3rd row seats. You also get cup holders here, so if you are traveling with your cup of coffee, you can just put it right here. In fact, there are 2 of them. So on both the sides you get 2 cup holders, and on that side you also get a 12-volt charging socket. So the children or even the adults who are traveling in the rear seats, they are gonna be fully equipped with the features as well. In fact, if there is not much of a luggage in the rear, you can also recline the seats, which I believe is quite comfortable position if you are traveling even in the longer journeys and destinations. And the seats themselves, they are good enough, just good enough. Now coming to the 2nd row of the Maruti Suzuki Invicto, this car feels extremely premium. Currently we are in the 7-seater version of the car, which get the pilot seats. The seats themselves, they are very comfortable. They are not ventilated or cooled, however they get the perforated leather, which will ensure that you remain cool and your clothes don't get sweaty, especially in the hot summer weather like we are in right now. Coming to the features, you get a dedicated climate control display right here, which you can use to control the speed of the AC and the airflow which come out from the vents on the roof. Apart from that, it gets the all black theme with the champagne inserts similar to the front of the car. Coming to the space, there is a lot of it. You get the door pockets, which are massive in size, and you can put big 1-liter bottles right on the door pockets. Apart from that, you get the pockets behind the seats as well. You get a hook right here, and there are 2 USB Type-C chargers for the passengers in the middle row. Apart from that, you also get this very nicely done, very quirky foldable table, which you can fold down when not in use, and you can pull it back right after to keep things like a coffee mug securely when traveling over the long distances. Overall, space wise, you get a lot of legroom. However, currently there is no passenger in the rear, and this seat is slided down to its rearmost position. However, if there are passengers traveling in the rear seats, you can just pull it forward, and there is still a good amount of leg space for the passengers in the middle row seat, and there is ample amount of leg room in the rear seats as well. Lastly, but the main attraction of this cabin is this massive panoramic sunroof. It's massive in size, and it will cover the head of the rear passengers as well. So this car in no way feels claustrophobic. It feels very airy, it feels massive, and if you are going over a long distance journey or want to travel luxuriously within the city, you can just put up your windshields, sit back, relax, and enjoy the drive. Now we are in the driver's seat of the Maruti Suzuki Invicto, and if you are not going to be chauffeur driven around, this is the seat you are going to take. And there are a lot of usable features in this car which you will definitely like. So let's start with the dashboard of this vehicle. You get soft touch material on the co-driver's side and on the driver's side as well. This is all premium finish, but this is an all black theme with the highlights of champagne, which we also saw in the middle row seats. Now coming to the screen itself, this is not the typical smart play system that we get to see with the Maruti Suzuki cars. However, this has been borrowed from Toyota, and it is not as responsive. Below that, you get a few buttons to control the screen itself. The AC vents, they look slightly different from the Toyota Innova Hycross, but they are designed quite well and well integrated to the whole setup. You get a dedicated climate control screen, which you can use to control the temperature and the air, and below that there are dedicated buttons for the climate control again. Now you can see the gear lever mounted right on the dashboard, so that opens up a lot of space here. There are a lot of buttons besides the gear lever as well, which I will explain while we are driving the car. Now right in front of me, you get a colored 7-inch display which shows a lot of information, which again I will explain while we are driving the car. The steering wheel itself, it's not flat bottom, it's a 3-spoke steering wheel, and you can adjust it for height and reach as well. The power button is right here, and on my side you will see a few buttons, and these are for the memory seats. So the driver's seat of this Invicto, it is electronically controlled, and if there are 2 drivers who drive this car, they can use these buttons to memorize the position of the seat, and whenever that driver chooses to sit on the car, they can just choose that button and the seat will automatically adjust to the preference of the driver. Now this is the first time we are seeing an electronically controlled seat in a Maruti Suzuki Nexa car. Apart from that, as I told you before, it opens a lot of space. The positioning of the gear, it opens up a lot of space in the middle segment of the car. Again, I'm carrying this coffee mug since the last row seat. You can use this space to keep your coffee mug while traveling. You can also use this armrest to keep a lot of things, and it's a massive space, so you can keep big items and even 1 liter bottles for your journey. Coming to the 1 liter bottles, you can also use this massive glove box. For that, this is not a cool glove box. The charging pad, the charging socket, you get it right here, the 12-volt charging socket. In between here, you get one USB Type-C charger and also a regular USB charger. Now above me there are a few controls as well. These are for the lights. As you can see, these are not, the cabin lights are not all LED. You also get a control to open the sunroof, and this, the IRBM, it is automatic. So feature wise, the Maruti Suzuki Invicto, it does get a lot of usable features. The new Maruti Suzuki Invicto, it only comes with strong hybrid powertrain, which means it gets a petrol engine of 2 liter. It's a naturally aspirated engine and it only runs on Atkinson cycle for a better fuel efficiency. Now power wise, it generates a maximum of 186 horsepower and a peak torque of 188 Newton meters. There are 2 additional electric motors that are connected to this engine. One of them gives it an additional torque boost of 206 Nm. The other electric motor, it works as a starter generator. So driving the Maruti Suzuki Invicto, the power delivery and everything, it feels quite good. Now since this is a strong hybrid powertrain, it also gets a fully EV mode, and there is a dedicated version, there's a dedicated button for that as well. In fact, when you start the car for the first time in the morning or whenever you start the car, if there is enough juice in the battery, it will start working as an electric vehicle only, and it is quite as much. While it is extremely smooth and you do not get the transition between the petrol engine and the electric and all other sorts, however, the petrol engine itself, it is loud enough to give you an audio signal. Apart from that, there is a cool graphic on the driver display which shows you all the workings of the strong hybrid system. The Maruti Suzuki Invicto, it is based on a monocoque chassis, and it also gets an electric power steering, which means maneuvering car at slower speeds is very easy. And if you go on the highways and take the higher speeds as well, it feels very stable. The steering wheel, it weighs up very nicely too. However, the mid-range is not very strong, so which means that if you want to do quick overtakes on the highway, you will have to make it work out. You would have enjoyed it a little bit more if you had to just simply cruise along and not do any overtakes, especially on the 2-lane highways like we are right now. Apart from that, the car feels very comfortable. Since it's a monocoque chassis, it does feel it feels supremely comfortable. And currently it is showing that the outside temperature is 31 degrees, and the AC system, the climate control system, it is working overtime to make sure that we are very comfortable inside. I did miss to tell you that the front 2 seats, they are cooled and ventilated, so which means driving this car in the hot summer weather conditions, it is very easy and it is very comfortable. The driver gets a very commanding position. The seating is very high. You can actually see the whole length of the bonnet. It actually feels like you're driving an SUV, and since the ground clearance is pretty high, you can actually take this car through a lot of rough terrains without much of a problem. Now, while we didn't drive this car outrightly to check out the fuel efficiency, during our test drive, which has lasted well over 65 kilometers, the indicative fuel efficiency of this car is more than 14 kmpl, which in our opinion, for a car of this size, it is quite excellent. Since we have driven this car both on the city roads and the highways, the fuel efficiency is definitely quite impressive. Apart from that, most of the customers who will buy this car will not be sitting on this driver's seat, but if still they do, they will not be disappointed by the performance or the comfort of this vehicle. Priced between 24.79 lakh and 28.42 lakh, the new Maruti Suzuki Invicto is more affordable than its counterpart. With lower number of features and a better price tag, this definitely is a better packaged vehicle. However, the major advantage of this car really goes to the backing of Maruti Suzuki's wide service center, which is spread across the length and width of the country. And that's a massive advantage that this car gets. What do you really think about the Invicto? Do let us know in the comment section below, and as always, do not forget to subscribe to the Car Talk channel and press the bell icon to get regular updates.